All happened more or less. The war parts, anyway. I think that's true. One guy I knew really was shot in Dresden for taking a teapot that wasn't his. Guy I knew really did threaten to have his personal enemies killed by hired gunmen after the war. I have changed all the names. I really did go back to Dresden with Guggenheim money, godless, in 1967. It looked a lot like Dayton, Ohio. More open spaces than Dayton has. There must be tons of human bone meal in the ground. I went back there with an old war buddy, Barnard V. O'Hara, and we made friends with a cab driver who took us to Slaughterhouse where we had been locked up at night as prisoners of war. There with an old war buddy, Barnard O'Hara, and we made friends with a cab driver who took us to the slaughterhouse and had been locked up at night as prisoners of war. His name was Herd Muller. He told us that he was a prisoner of the Americans for a while. We asked him how it was to live under communism, and he said that it was terrible at first, but everybody had to work so hard, and because there wasn't much shelter or food or clothing, but things were much better now. He had a pleasant little apartment, and his daughter was getting an excellent education. His mother was incinerated in the Dresden firestorm, so it he sent O'Hara a postcard at Christine, and here is what it said. I wish you and your family also, as to your friend, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope that we will meet again in a world of peace and freedom in the taxi cab if the accident will. I like that very much, if the accident will. I would hate to tell you what this lousy little book cost me in money and anxiety and time. When I got home the Second World War 23 years ago, I thought it would be for me to write about the destruction of Dresden, since all I would have to do would be to report what I had seen. And I thought too that it would be a masterpiece or at least make me money, since the subject was so big. But not many words about Dresden came from my mind then, not enough for them to make a book anyways. And not many words came now either. I have become an old fart with his memories as Paul's mouth, with his sons full grown. I think of how useful the Dresden part of my memory has been, and yet how tempting Dresden has been to write about, and I am reminded it was a limerick. There was a who soliloquized thus to his student: You took all my wealth, and you ruined my health, and now you won't pee, you old fool. And I am reminded too of the song that goes, my name is Yon Yonson. I work in Wisconsin. I work in a lumber mill there. The people I meet when I walk down the street, they say, what's your name? And I say, my name is Yon Yonson. I work in Wisconsin. And so on to infinity. Over the years, people I have met have often asked me what I am working on, and I have usually replied that the main thing was a book about Dresden. I said that to Harrison Starr, the movie maker, one time, and he raised an eyebrow and inquired, is it an anti-war book? Yes. I said, I guess. You know what I say to when I hear they're writing anti-war books? No, what do you say? I say, why don't you write an anti-glacier book instead? What he meant, of course, was that there would always be wars. And they were as easy to stop as glaciers. I believe that too. And even if wars didn't keep coming like glaciers, there would still be plain old death. When I was somewhat younger, working my famous Dresden book, I asked an old war buddy named Bernard B. O'Hara if I could come to see him. He was a district attorney in Pennsylvania. I was a writer on Cap Code. We had been privates in the war, infantry scouts. We had never expected to make any money after the war. We were doing quite well. I had the Bell Telephone Company find him for me. They are wonderful that way. I have this disease late at night sometimes involving alcohol and the telephone. I get drunk. And I drive my wife away with a breath like mustard gas and roses, and speaking gravely and elegantly into the telephone, I asked telephone operators to connect me with his friends or that one from whom I have not heard in years. Someone is at the door. I will have to stop the stream.